Imran Khan, ex Primo Ministro del Pakistan, è una figura di grande rilevanza internazionale, noto per il suo impegno nel trasformare il panorama politico e sociale del paese. Dopo una brillante carriera come capitano della squadra di cricket pakistana, culminata nella storica vittoria della Coppa del Mondo del 1992, Khan ha intrapreso un percorso politico fondando il Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, PTI. Il suo governo, iniziato nel 2018, è stato caratterizzato da riforme coraggiose volte a combattere la corruzione endemica, migliorare l'accesso alla sanità e all'istruzione, e rafforzare i diritti delle fasce più deboli della popolazione. Nonostante il successo iniziale, il suo mandato è stato bruscamente interrotto nel 2022 con un voto di sfiducia, aprendo la strada a una serie di accuse legali che hanno portato al suo arresto e alla repressione del PTI. La caduta di Imran Khan ha scatenato proteste di massa in tutto il Pakistan, mentre migliaia di suoi sostenitori sono stati arrestati o perseguitati. Le manifestazioni pacifiche, spesso guidate dai giovani, si sono scontrate con una dura repressione da parte delle autorità, sollevando preoccupazioni a livello internazionale sul rispetto dei diritti umani e della democrazia in Pakistan. A offrirci una prospettiva unica su questi eventi è Aleema Khan, sorella di Imran Khan, imprenditrice e attivista umanitaria di grande rilievo. Aleema è conosciuta per il suo impegno nel sociale, in particolare nel sostegno ai pazienti oncologici attraverso il Shaukat Khanum Memorial Cancer Hospital, fondato da suo fratello. La sua esperienza personale e familiare le permette di fornire una visione intima e dettagliata delle sfide che il Pakistan sta affrontando oggi. In questa intervista esclusiva, Aleema condivide il suo punto di vista sulla visione riformatrice di Imran Khan, le difficoltà che ha affrontato come leader, le condizioni di detenzione a cui è sottoposto e l'impatto devastante della repressione sul PTI e sui suoi sostenitori. Attraverso il racconto di Aleema, emergono storie di resilienza, lotta per i diritti fondamentali e il desiderio di un cambiamento che continua a ispirare milioni di pakistani.
In that condition, on the 8th of February, they held election. Trust me, even in your country or anywhere in the world, universities will be studying what happened in Pakistan on the 8th of February, where they gave out 250 symbols to people, from a wheelchair to a racket to a ball, whatever they gave, different symbols. These candidates stood independently with so the population has no clue. But now this population in 1 month learned who the candidates were for PTI. Secretly. This was all done very secretly and through social media. So what didn't exist in the last century was, and Imran Khan got landslide victory in that election. So they then went into shock. Next day, they started adding numbers and created the second form, and they obviously distributed it amongst the other parties. Now, when you steal people's vote, this was one election where people understood this vote didn't belong to the candidate. This vote belonged to me. I voted. And you're now offending me by stealing my vote. So don't forget, at that time, somebody interviewed me. I said, it's not a matter of if, now it's a matter of when people and their anger and the unfairness of it is going to start showing itself. And now the protests have been gathering momentum, where people are asking for their stolen vote to give it back to us. They have subjugated the Supreme Court. So when my brother called for a protest on the 24th of November, he told the people, you will come out for the rule of law, you will come out for democracy, and you will come out for human rights. He said these three conditions, that there are thousands of people, political prisoners in jail. People are getting abducted. I've been to jail. My sister's been in prison. We are followed when we step out of the house. When I speak to you, every time somebody says you're speaking to the media, we expect to get picked up and abducted. There's a difference between arrest and abduction. Abduction is secret services. This is something that was happening maybe in some of the countries in South America or even in Europe decades ago. That's what we are facing right now. But we don't have fear anymore because we're all here for a cause. My brother, they are trying desperately that he should make a deal to bring him out. They'll finish his cases. He said, no, I'll face all my cases. He is facing his cases and he refuses to basically come out on any deal. So that's the situation and we are right now. On the 26th of November in Islamabad, we were there, my sister, myself, we are eyewitnesses to this that I'm going to relate to you. It's something that is still a big shock to us. And I think for days, my sister, a lot of people were crying because we were in shock. Capital of Pakistan, Islamabad, main avenue, the boulevard. So people come for peaceful protests. That's always been my brother's main thing. Imran Khan has always said it should always be peaceful. There should be no anarchy. He's excellent at controlling that sort of thing and saying, and people understand him, he's like a father to them. They will never break a building or set fire. So we were there on the main boulevard. My sister's granddaughter, who was 14, 15, why would we take our granddaughter if we were planning to go and, I don't know whatever we were planning to do, bomb something. And there were snipers on the buildings. At 3:30, there were people bringing us shells and saying that there's snipers sitting on top of these main boulevard buildings, and they're firing into the crowd. We were all standing there. My sister, all of us could have been shot dead because these snipers can take out anyone. By 5:30, 6:30, there were already 12 or 13 dead and about 60, 70 injured, taken to the hospital. But what happened late at night, when we also left at about 9:30, they shut down all the lights. It was pitch dark on that boulevard. And then they came from all sides. And then they did an operation. And we think there are dozens. Some people think it could be 150 missing. The bodies are removed and cannot be, there are people missing. I went 2 days ago to condole a boy who was 17 who died. His father's a security guard. And we went to his house and they threatened them that they should not appear in court. Now, these are poor people. And they're threatening them that you should not, and they are the only ones who managed to get an autopsy report. So this is not sustainable. Fascism is not sustainable. It's not about politics anymore. And Imran Khan says this is not politics. We are fighting for our survival. We are fighting for our rights. And we are fighting for a change. And we will not accept fascism. That's about his thing. He said that yesterday as well when we were in jail court.
It's very shocking what you are telling to us. We was having some news regarding this, but you know what is also shocking, that the Western media was totally not taking care of what was happening on Islamabad. And there was not report on, for example, our Italian media at all about the situation in Pakistan and what was going on. And it's something that require an answer. What you think? Why you think that there is this double standard for considering what is happening in the world by the Western world? Why the Western world is not considering in the proper way what is going on in your country? Your country is an important, very important country in the geopolitical statement, and the turmoil and this total lack of any respect of human rights is totally unacceptable, supposed to be totally unacceptable for our Western standard. Why for you there is this silence about what is going on in your country, in the Western media?
I think what I think that for years, it's also what, if you look back into our history, for the young history of Pakistan, since 77, if you recall, when there was a Russian entry into Afghanistan, so Pakistan most probably became more relevant for the US. And the military obviously became very relevant because, as my brother says all the time, that how will we grow as a country economically if we should not be fighting anybody else's war? And at that time, with our military engaged to support USA or the NATO forces against the Russians in Afghanistan. So we got caught up in other people's war, basically. That's the role Pakistan ended up playing. So if you look at Western interest or, I don't know, USA interest, so it's understandable when people think from their own point of view and not human rights, and they think about their own strategic interests. So uh, they will feel that it is more important to support military control in a country so that they will work directly with them. So we don't want we are 240 million people, and after Imran Khan's regime came down, uh, at that time the GDP growth in Pakistan was 6%. And during COVID, it's unheard of. We are only maybe one of four countries which were growing during COVID, and Pakistan was one of them in 2022 when his government was brought down in April. And since then, we are down to zero and maybe negative growth. So, what do you think happened during this time of hyperinflation? Millions of people have been pushed below the line of poverty. So, the decision is for the people to say, it's not that we are against any country anywhere in the world, but we do have a right to live and we do have a right to feed our children, right? So, what do you think a population says at that time? Like, we are not against Italy, for example, or US or West, but what about the children who have to be fed within our own country? So, our first interest, like everybody else, should be to take care of your own people. That's all Imran Khan is trying to do and was trying to do, to feed his people. He was setting up shelter homes for the homeless. He gave them a health card so that they had access to health in the hospitals. He was giving them free education. Like, with first priority for get them discounted grain, get them discounted oil and gas. Now, our people have the right for that, and that is human rights. And that should be now the consideration for this century. This is the change actually that's happening in the world. I'm happy to say it's not coming from us. We are an older generation. We most probably we were trying to destroy the world and the future of our children. But the new generation everywhere, we are happy to say there's a downside to social media, but there's an upside to it. And the upside is, as you just pointed out, that mainstream media gradually became not compromised, but had to adjust itself for national security, right? Most countries say for national security, news had to be controlled. Well, Hitler started it. He was the mastermind of propaganda, and Mussolini. So now they continued that tradition, but the younger generation with social media has broken it. So there will be upheaval, but I think disruption is needed before you can fix something. And not only in Pakistan, where the younger generation is up and is not going to give up, will fight against brutality. They will fight against fascism. It's their right, it's their duty, it's their future. So they will do that, and the change will come everywhere in the world, where people will say enough is enough. We don't want a world like this. So Pakistan has joined that race for change. And we are very happy with the young generation. It's not chaotic. It's very smart. It's not anarchic like it would have happened centuries ago. It's really smart. And I'm very proud of our people. They use the social media like a weapon, which is a much better weapon than real weapons. Don't you agree to that?
Absolutely, absolutely agree. Another question about your brother. How is the condition of detention? How is he can meet regularly his relative, his lawyer, his how is his general, and there is a difference between his condition in jail and the condition of his supporter that are not so famous, so they can be more easily, as you tell, for the people that was kidnapped and disappear, how they are treated in jail and how is their situation.
Actually, since last year, like maybe 1.5, over 1.5, 20 months, we all mobilized ourselves to support the families of the prisoners who went to jail. It's not just the condition of prisoners in jail. In the regular jail, it's not that bad, by the way. I've been to jail. I came out and everybody was really disturbed that don't go around telling people that our jails are very clean. The food is not bad. They were not happy that. So why are you saying that? I said, it works very efficiently. They lock people up for 12 hours, like at night, like sunset to sunrise, and then they open the cells. So people, they're courtyards, and people can come out, and they are together, and it's quite it's okay for everybody because they mix with each other. They're not locked up in the daytime. They can exercise or whatever. But that's not the condition. That's a regular jail routine. They are allowed to call from a public phone office thrice a week to their families. So once when we go to jail to visit my brother, we see lines of people standing on PCO thrice a week, one. Then they can have family visits once a week. But that has not been the same for my brother. Imran Khan has been in the same cell, but not allowed to mix with anybody because I agree with them, it's for security reasons. So he was in complete isolation, and the cell is 7 feet by 10 feet with a toilet at the back, which includes the toilet. So it's a small cell, but he is not allowed to go out. So his time, but he's a man who takes a challenge. He says the fight is always with yourself. It's never with anybody else. So he wanted to see if he can take this challenge. And he's not complained. All he wants is books. He's very positive. So he says, oh, I would have never had a chance to read all the books I've been reading, and the knowledge that was missing, there were like gaps in my knowledge. And he reads, I don't know, he's already read hundreds of books. Obviously history, on Islam, on Sufism, and he reads the Quran. So, but fortunately, now, because this government put 200 cases on him, so in the beginning, they thought they'll take him to court, but then they said, we don't want him to be seen by his people. They're so scared to even let him out. So they decided there's a community center inside the jail. They decided to set it up as a courtroom. So we go to jail for his court hearings. So there's a judge, the prosecution, our lawyers, and then Imran Khan and his vice chairman at that time, he was also in jail. They protested. Shah Mahmood Qureshi, they protested. They said it is not open trial unless you get the media. So now we have 6 or 7 selected media also present over there. The family, the media, the lawyers, and prosecution with the judge. As a result, we are able to be there with him, the lawyers and the family, maybe sometimes 4 times a week. So which is very good. He gets a lot of communication. They have tons of cameras and listening devices in the courtroom. They want to listen to everything we say. My phone that I speak on, I've been told that there's a system called Pegasus, which listens to everything I say. Somebody said they have spent $100,000 or maybe $200,000, especially for my phone, for some listening device on my phone. I was very disturbed. I said, if you had given me the $200,000, I would have told you everything in any case. And we would have given that $200,000 for our fundraising that we do for scholarships. But I'm really upset about that. And I've sent a message that please, next time, give me the money. We'll use it for a good cause. And I will tell you everything on a daily basis.
Was a great answer from you. And also your true answer about the condition of the jail is very, very important because the truth is always that there can be some change inside the United States policy, and maybe will be some pressure on the Pakistan military to change their position. You think that this is something that can really happen, or is it just a hope that can this change in power in United States can have a political and effective effect also on Pakistan situation?
Actually, the change that we are looking for, is from within our country. It should be from within Pakistan. It should be our own decision. It should be, when we are going through the process of, I wouldn't say revolution, but I feel it is like a revolution because it's a change of thinking. When the public changes its mind on how they would like their country to be run, then we should not take the victory away from the people of Pakistan. It is the victory of the people of Pakistan. And they put up such a big fight. At the end, you say it was a technical decision, would be really unfair. It is our victory. We are doing it intelligently. We are bringing a change. It's a 90%, by the way, there's a 90% attitude in Pakistan is very clear. We don't want the system anymore of subjugation. And at the moment, this whole thing is not about how the country should be run. At the moment, this is all about one man, head of military, having dreams of being a ruler with a puppet in the front for the next 8 years. That's the demand, by the way, from what we are hearing. The demand is that I'd like to be here ruling this country for the next 8 years. They did a constitutional amendment, which is what we were protesting against in November, which was only so that he could get an extension to his military position as Chief of Army Staff for 3 years. And then from there onwards, although he's a retired man, to have the option of another 5 years. So that is total of 8 years. Pakistan this is not our future anymore. We don't want military dictatorship. We want a democratic system where the people have a right to choose their own leadership and they would like a future for themselves. When you subjugate the Supreme Court, when our people are dying in the seas, in the English Channel or out away from Greece on boats, why are they leaving? They are educated people. They fear that there is no court system over here. They will get no justice and they can be picked up anytime. It's the fear of fascism that is driving them out of Pakistan. So if you're asking me about Trump's change, it is, Imran Khan also said that it is a good thing that when Biden was sort of voted out, that their government was doing this in our part of the world, offended that you went to Russia, or that in Afghanistan, Pakistan helped the American troops to leave. They have helped with the evacuation. Pakistan can't be blamed if the Afghans take a decision, this is how we want to live in our country. So that change is a good thing. And I think there's a change in America also. If you see that there's a change coming in America from the younger generation, USA, there will be a change, that they shouldn't be going around interfering in other people's country. It pushes people into poverty. So that's not something people-to-people contact requires. As I said, from social media, because there's a people-to-people contact, and people are aware what their own countries are doing in other countries. For example, Pakistan's Air Force bombed into Afghanistan. and we heard about children and women being killed. Now that upset us, not like we are not happy that we should be bombing another country, right? The same way other countries will start feeling the same once they have information. So yes, the change is good because remember he was a friend of, like they got on well, Imran Khan and Donald Trump, because I think they both were disruptive to old system of establishment. So they are basically, it's not about being good or bad anymore. It's about we don't want the old system anymore. I think that's the change that's coming. And the new administration that we are seeing on social media, that's a different way of communicating. Like some of the officials who haven't taken charge as yet are on social media, which means they're communicating directly with the people of a country, right? So one of the people wrote, "Free Imran Khan" on his post. I think he's his special rep or something. And 12 million views. He was shocked. He said 12 million views. So 12 million views gives you an idea how well received it was by the people of Pakistan when he
Yes.
wrote "Free Imran Khan."
Yes, yes, we was aware of this and was very, very interesting. What you think, 2025, tomorrow is 2025, will be the year where finally your brother can come out of jail and Pakistan can get the future that he deserves?
If I analyze the current situation, remember we are going through this for over nearly 2 years now, right? We never thought we'd ever, we were. I told my brother yesterday. I said, the roller coaster that you've made all of us go through, it's like a roller coaster. We never thought. I said, last 1.5 year for our family has been police, jail, lawyers. That's it. Nothing else. I mean, but it's been an incredible learning experience, I have to say. It's incredible how Allah gives you um, not just strength, how something that you never imagined you'd even plan on doing. I mean, if you ask me, I don't want to see the face of a courtroom or police or lawyers. And then it was and media, and it was actually um, I don't know, it wasn't depressing. It was a learning experience. So every day you learn something new. And this is a road to freedom, definitely. We feel good about ourselves that we stood up to it. Somebody just came out of jail yesterday. Not jail, he was abducted by the agencies. And again, a businessman, very smart, highly educated young man. And all he was doing was helping, like we have a group that helps prisoners' families. We support them. So it's like a charity program. He got abducted, but 10 days he spent in a dungeon, like a basement, with his face covered, and he was interrogated and he was treated very badly. You know what he said to me yesterday? Very pampered, from a very prominent family. He said, "You know what I'm happy about when I came out?" I said, "Tell me, what's your experience?" He said, "I am so happy that I did not give in, and I came out. I've gotten over the fear of what would happen if I got abducted." So he said, "I'm victorious over my own fear." And that was his excitement. Like he was very happy. So what I'm saying is people coming out of prison are getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So there's no fear anymore. Now we are ready to, people are ready to give up their lives for being part of history, I suppose. So this year, by Imran Khan makes an announcement. He announces. So he just announced yesterday that 2025 is the year of freedom.
Great, really great to hear this. I hope that can be the year of freedom for Pakistan, for your brother, and not only for Pakistan, for sure, but for all over the world. Your word about the change in the mind of people about revolution is the true word about revolution. There is no revolution if there is no change in the mind of people. Is the most important thing. Instead, it's just a revolt. It's nothing that can take to nothing good. It's just when people understand and improve themselves that can be some change and this is the most important. So the objective must be this, and the one that you and your brother are so courageously taking care about. So thank you again for the interview.